This is the local and national news from Fabulous 103 FM, and it would be fabulous if you subscribed. It's easy. Click the subscribe button, and at the same time, click the like button too. Little hope remains for the missing crew members of at least one Navy vessel sunk in the Gulf during record-high storms. The heavily armed US-built ship took on water before power was cut and the engine stopped, seeing it sink and rescue ships sent to recover those on board. Now working in a 300-square-mile area of search, which does include small islands, a reported 31 men are said to have been unaccounted for. With 2 other ships along with helicopters and search rescue planes all working day and night in gale force conditions, 75 crewmen are said to have been recovered, most if not all during the first few hours. In the same storms, a cargo ship sunk after containers shifted, and 2 fishing boats were reported missing, with ferries to Samui and Phangan both being suspended. Heavy rain in the south combined with gale force winds has seen massive flooding in many areas, along with flooded towns and villages. 3 died after their car was washed from a road into rivers. 2 were recovered by passers-by. In coastal areas along the shoreline of Nakhon Si Thammarat, saltwater flooding continued yesterday. Small boats have been ordered throughout the Gulf to remain on the shoreline, as red no-swim flags cover beaches from south to north. The number of new COVID-19 cases across Thailand dropped in the past 7 days, seeing 3,419 known infections, those treated by medics. But with a build-up of critical patients, the death count in the same 7-day period rose to 113. 400 patients remain on life support ventilators and a further 645 have lung infections resulting from the virus. 5 mobile ganja vendors, along with 1 shop operator who allowed consumption of cannabis on his premises, have been fined in the capital 5,000 baht each, with jail sentences suspended for 2 years. Selling cannabis flowers or bud without a license will, according to authorities, result in more arrests, and these are the first to be publicly tried. So it's expected that higher penalties will be handed down in the near future. Authorised vendors are reminded that none have licences allowing consumption on the premises. Think your credit card interest rate is high? Try 2,080%. That's the rate gouged by a gang arrested by police, who traced them through social media advertising and even phone apps. 2 Chinese leaders along with 17 Thais were all taken into custody in an operation that covered the capital, Chonburi, Chiang Rai and Prachuapkhiri Khan. 33 bank accounts were frozen, 5.29 million baht cash recovered, and a complete list of accounts taken for analysis. It seems that anyone not paying automatically got menacing messages encouraging repayment with intimidation. Meanwhile at home, and reports have been confirmed that a former Pattaya expat who had recently moved to the northeast of Thailand to settle down properly was responsible for killing a fellow co-worker on an oil rig in Qatar waters. The father of 2 children here and a long-term expat, 43-year-old Scott Forrest, killed his cabin mate, hiding his body before applying for an emergency flight off the rig, with the claim of a family emergency. The ROV specialist was subsequently grabbed by 3 other co-workers as he attacked a second man who discovered the first body. Locals here have voiced amazement, as he was known as a very laid-back, non-aggressive and pleasant man, described by pals as a proud father of 2 children and a good friend to many. That all changed apparently as his mother passed away, leaving him in what's been described as a seriously stressed state, with some suggesting that he'd managed to hide a complete mental breakdown. Now in custody in Qatar, he faces their form of justice, which may see him able to reduce his sentence somewhat if the family agrees to clemency. This is the family of the dead man, 38-year-old Robbie Robson, come to terms with his far too early demise. UK media has made much of a few photographs they managed to grab from social media, including one of him holding 2 weapons and looking menacing. The truth of that, of course, is that he, as many of us do, had been to a gun range, and the photographs, well, they were taken many, many years ago. Co-workers were encouraged not to discuss the attack as authorities investigated. One of his last phone calls to pals here was to say that he'd screwed up and wouldn't be back anytime soon. The cold spell is likely to put swimmers off here in the bay, but the reminder has still been issued for swimmers not to enter the waters as exceedingly strong undercurrents and waves continue to make it unsafe. And for those who were celebrating Christmas this year, perhaps with families, a little tip. As in the Avani Hotel foyer adjacent to Royal Garden Mall, the bakery is selling the most amazing of traditional Western cakes, along with gingerbread houses all ready to take home. The head chef at the hotel is a former master pastry chef, and under his guidance a team there works to supply fresh and amazing Christmas specials at a very affordable price. Well worth a visit, and you're bound to take one home. And with the Met Office promising highs today of 28 degrees, dropping down to 23, but with the promise of sunny spells. Local and national news today from Fabulous 103 FM and Fabulous Pattaya Media Group. And to get a notification every time we release another bulletin or programme, like and subscribe to our channel, Fabulous Pattaya Media Group, by using the link below.